All right. So they should be able to hear us, even though it says starting soon. So let me go ahead and do a little. Mr. Producer, got all them hoes.
I get
Boom.
locked up.
Should we do a quick song and dance for them before we start looking at the markets?
Sure.
Cause I'm locked up. We could put on a song. That's what I was doing on Saturday. I had Roddy Rich pumping.
I
Ooh.
listen to it.
Yeah, I gave him that big juice on Saturday. I gave him that big sales juice. I gave him some heat.
The Bomba juice.
Yeah, but I bet 25% of them implemented, and the other 75% said, "Oh, I'm still didn't make any money." So
Are
yeah,
we live?
yeah, we're live now.
Oh, nice. Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Episode 2 of the Ultimate Market Professionals. Title of this video is Dumptober, because I know you guys were afraid. Fear had struck your hearts. The market makers had played with your emotions. You feel betrayed. You probably feel a bit scared. Fortunately, by the time that we're filming this video, the markets have bounced back. So I'm sure some of you might have, changed your mindset on Dumptober. But yeah, I mean, we're pretty much going to touch upon the first week of the market. We're on October 7th. In the next couple of days, I do, in my opinion, believe that Bitcoin's going to start breaking out towards 70,000. We should be above 70,000 by the end of this month, in my opinion. But everybody got scared. Some people got shaken out, started selling some of their bags at the beginning of this month. And we even saw some, let's call it KOLs on crypto Twitter and YouTube. Looks like the range is starting to get to their heads a bit because of how long we've been ranging. This is actually the longest range Bitcoin's ever been in history for the past 7, almost 8 months now. So, yeah, so that's where we're at. Dumptober, maybe. We're going to talk about it. So, Logan, what's going on, player?
What's up, brother?
What's going
Thanks
on,
for
man?
having me again. I guess it's an official segment, so
Right. Yeah, so,
mutual.
yeah, yeah.
um, but yeah, so I mean, I guess the couple of things I was thinking about this morning and over the weekend was just it's important to remember that crypto's a global market. It's not just specific to the United States. I think it's kind of easy to forget that. People don't really pay attention to what's going on the global scale. But I know a couple of big things that we were following last week was the jobs report came out. 4.1% allegedly.
Yep.
I
Yeah,
think
allegedly.
I think we're both on the same same page, wondering how legit those numbers are. Said that they added 254,000 jobs in quarter 3. So, I mean, we'll take it. I mean, the market needed it, so it's a good report. Um, the one thing I was looking into a little bit this morning, I'd messaged you about it, was the UAE had removed taxes on all crypto transactions.
Yep.
The one thing I was curious as to see what you thought about it was I know that other countries slowly but surely have becoming a lot more favorable to work in for crypto companies and for crypto investments and crypto transactions in general. Do you think that the United States is going to try and keep pace with what these other countries are doing just to try and make sure all these businesses and all these opportunities aren't looking elsewhere? Or do you think that the pockets of some very, very wealthy individuals have too much say in what's going on, and they're gonna continue to jam up the government and not allow them to favor crypto as much as these other countries?
Yeah, that's a great point with the UAE, and you see that a lot in the Middle East. Is they're trying to adopt cryptocurrency as quickly as possible and trying to make it a safe haven for people to develop cryptocurrencies, develop other blockchains, develop projects on top of the blockchains, and attract those businesses to the Middle East. And just think about how big it is that they took off taxes on cryptocurrency. So that's not something that should just be overlooked. Like, oh yeah, they're not taxing cryptocurrency. No, that's a huge deal, because Bobby actually just went over this, interestingly enough, on Sunday, whenever he did his tax video. He was talking about capital gains tax in the United States, and how if you take it out under a year, I believe it's 20% tax. If you take it out after a year, it's 15% tax, etc., on your capital gains. So if you gain $100,000 and you take it out within 1 year out of the market, you're going to pay $20,000 in taxes. Okay, that's a big difference. So for them to not tax cryptocurrency in the Middle East, that is definitely going to attract business. That's definitely going to attract just individuals, citizens as well, because you see it even in the United States. Billionaires will just strategically live in different states because of the tax benefits. Jeff Bezos, he lives in Washington. His main residence is in Washington, is because in Washington the tax law was, it may have changed recently because I believe he started moving to Florida, but or he's moving to Florida, in the process of moving to Florida. But before, in Washington, there was some type of stipulation where he was able to sell his stock in Amazon at a much, much, much discounted rate. And as soon as they changed the law, the loophole that he was able to abuse by selling his Amazon stock in Washington, he moved to Florida so that he could benefit from that tax law. So people do move, and do move their money to where it makes sense, right? This is a real thing. So the UAE is intelligent in doing that. Now, if Trump wins the election, he is very bullish on crypto, and he says he's going to do a lot of things to make America the leading entity in the world when it comes to cryptocurrency, which would be great. Sounds good, right? But I can't imagine that even if the Democrats won, that they would necessarily regulate against cryptocurrency, because that's not something that I've heard about, nor did I see anything like that. Yeah, go ahead.
I agree. Yeah, I don't really think any party, no matter which way it goes, is really going to try and shut it down,
Right.
or really be anti-crypto. The one thing I thought was interesting that I was thinking about this morning was whenever I was saying about deep pockets, if they kind of have too much influence to allow crypto to be as open as it is in these other countries. Just in the month of September alone, crypto companies had funded over $830 million, which obviously just for bull market purposes, that's a super good indicator. But what I was thinking about is you have to think about Goldman Sachs and these other huge investment companies. They see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars that are getting funded that are bypassing their ability to collect fees and make money off of these fundraisers and off of these campaigns that these crypto companies are running.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, those companies have huge influence over the government, the way that policies move, the changes that happen. And yeah, whenever those companies are getting bypassed and they're missing out on all that money, you know that they're going to do everything in their power to try and slow up the process. And that podcast I was listening to this morning, Tim Draper was getting interviewed by Tony Edward, who he has a YouTube channel. It's called Thinking Crypto.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Draper is a multi-billionaire. Went to Stanford, then went to Harvard School of Business, became a venture capitalist, and then back in 2009 or 2010, he heard about Bitcoin. And he said the way he made it make sense to himself was he saw his kids were playing like Farmville and these different games, and they were spending real money to get a digital item. And he said, okay, what about digital money, digital item? And he said it just made sense. When he heard about Bitcoin, he said, okay, this is a no-brainer. So he had bought $40,000 worth of Bitcoin for $4 a Bitcoin back in 2009, 2010. It ended up getting stolen from him at that time. And then a few years later, he purchased $18.7 million of Bitcoin for like $600 a Bitcoin, which now is worth like $650 million, I believe, is how much Bitcoin he currently holds.
Mm-hmm.
But he's so bullish on it. He was talking about this morning saying that 85% of retail spending across the United States is women, and more women nowadays are having crypto wallets. And he said, what do you think these big companies are going to do once they start to realize that they can save 2% on every single transaction that's happening in the retail space?
Mm-hmm.
And with the big companies, the whole reason I was saying this, not Goldman Sachs, but the CEO of JP Morgan Chase, what's his name?
Jamie Dimon.
Jamie Dimon. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jamie Dimon. He's saying Warren Buffett. These guys know where it's heading, and he thinks that they're terrified because once this happens and Bitcoin really and crypto, as a whole, really starts to give fiat currency a run for its money, all these people are going to be seeing it happen, and they're going to be trying to get their money out of the banks and into crypto, and they're not going to be able to. So yeah, these big companies they're scared. They know it's coming.
Absolutely, and I knew this this is why it seems that the people that make the most money and see opportunity before others see it are the ones who don't overthink it, right? So too many people are going to be deterred by the fact that something's new and they don't understand it, so they don't think it's liable, they don't think it's going to be profitable, they don't understand how it works, they don't trust in it, etc. But when in reality, if you just look at it at the surface level and understand what it is that you're looking at, you can see the opportunity there. So in college, whenever I first started, actually probably the end of high school, going into college was when I first started hearing about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and started looking into it. And one of my friends actually bought some cryptocurrency back in 2016, 2017, a grand. I believe it was $1,000 or $2,000 he bought worth, turned into $65,000 later that year. For us at the time, 18, 19 years old, we were losing our fucking minds. We're like, what the fuck? You're rich, right?
Yeah.
And but my point is that at that time I understood instantly. I said, oh, this just makes sense. Why wouldn't this work? So it's currency and everything's digital already anyways, right? Every country in the world is starting to, and that hasn't already, moved to almost completely digital currency. Okay. Now people say, oh, well, you can still get cash in hand. Yeah, but how many people actually carry around cash? How many people actually take cash? No, everything is debit card, credit card, bank transfers, wire transfers. Everything's through your bank. Everything's digital. It's just numbers on a screen. So why would cryptocurrency not make sense when in reality it's the same thing, but way better? So it's more secure, right? More secure in the sense that people can't just attack the blockchain. People can't just steal your cryptocurrency easily, etc. So it's safer. It's decentralized, which is probably the most important thing that people look for. It's decentralized. No one person governs that cryptocurrency whenever I'm talking about Bitcoin specifically. Some other currencies that can be controlled by people, but Bitcoin, the whole point of it is that it's decentralized. So a bank doesn't control your money. It's not like a bank can freeze your funds whenever you're trying to send a wire transfer to an account overseas. No, nobody's going to stop your transactions. The fees are lower, right? Anytime I send a wire transfer to Coinbase or to Kraken or to one of the exchanges to buy a bunch of crypto, if I'm sending a $20,000, $25,000, $30,000 wire transfer, there are tons of fees attached to that transfer, and it takes multiple days for that to even go through and me be able to have access to my money. If you do it on Bitcoin, or you send $30,000 on the base chain, it first of all is instant in the matter of minutes, seconds in some cases. Bitcoin maybe a few minutes, but then there's also effectively free, right? The fees are minimal, so it just makes sense. And I can send money to a wallet address in China or Germany or Mexico or the US without any kinds of restrictions and no delay. It's just boom, it's there. So it makes sense. Like, why wouldn't it make sense for that to become the norm?
Yeah. I mean, I think you're completely right. And I mean, we talk about getting into the right positions and buying and selling these things at the right time. And obviously with crypto, it's a quick moving market. It's very volatile. You do have to be able to pivot and move your assets around at the right times to be able to maximize your income. But whenever you look at where crypto's at and where it's heading, you're going to make money over time. That's why we were talking last week about how important it is investing money that you can afford to keep in the market. Whether it's invested in something that's an actual play, if you're just keeping it in a stable coin, but just being able to keep it in the market in general is so important. And as far as security, like you were talking about how much safer it is than a fiat currency. Tim Draper this morning was actually talking about a family friend that he had that lived in Argentina. And he said his family had built up a fortune 3 separate times over the past 30 years. And every single time that they had lost their fortune, it was due to market manipulation with the fiat currency in their country. And he said that Bitcoin was literally their saving grace, that they knew finally they were going to be able to build their fortune and maintain it long term because they can't depend on their government's fiat currency. And it's just been destroyed over and over and over again. Yeah, I think you're 100% right.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a fixed supply. So not only is it a currency that you can transact with, but now put this on top of it. As long as you're in the right currencies, which are the bigger ones for long-term investments, which is Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, these bigger L1 blockchains, it's not only a currency, but it's an appreciating asset over time as well. Is there volatility to the downside? Yeah, absolutely. You're just going to have to buy more at the bottoms, but it's volatile to the upside. So now, not only is it not the fiat currency that you were talking about, but your fiat currency is always going to inflate, right? So over time, that fiat currency is always going to go down in value. Now you have a currency that will only ever go up in value over time. So it's the complete opposite. So that's another thing that people don't even comprehend, the power of that. Just a small nuance in the way that it works, but it's massive because over time, you holding that currency is actually going to appreciate. as opposed to sitting in a bank account and inflating, right? That's insane. That's amazing. So he's got to be able to stomach the downturns as well. So,
Yeah. And I mean, I think the last point too that I thought was interesting from what I was listening to this morning,
uh-huh.
after Tim said he had graduated from Harvard School of Business, he had actually went into venture capitalism first,
Mm-hmm.
and he said that he's built up tons and tons of companies, provided a ton of funding, and he said that now over the past few years, every company that he helps get started, he makes sure that they have money, not just in a big bank,
Uh-huh.
but he also forces them to hold money in funds in a small bank, and he also forces them to hold money in Bitcoin. And he said whenever he was first starting to implement this, a lot of the CEOs, a lot of these companies were really questioning him. Why would we ever keep money in a small bank? Why would we want to keep money in crypto? And this was pretty right around the time of the Silicon Valley Bank going under.
Uh-huh.
He said that a lot of these companies, he said he got calls from over 15 companies of people saying, hey, we need emergency funds. All of our money was in the Silicon Valley Bank and we can't pay our payroll. And so he said for these big companies that have, say, 100,000 employees, they're still on the hook to be able to pay their own payroll. And these big banks, they can't get bailed out by the government. He said the small banks, some of them can get bailed out, but Bitcoin, if they have money in there, it's going to be their saving grace. It's the only thing that's going to help them be able to pay their payroll in a situation like that.
Right.
So yeah, it's just providing so much stability on a huge scale for a lot of companies to be able to maintain stability no matter what happens.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So right now we got pulled up the Bitcoin chart. So you can see this, right, Logan?
Yep, I see it.
Perfect. And I see it on the live stream. It looks fantastic. Look at that. We're fucking professionals. It took one episode for us to find out how to fix this. Competent. So, all right. So we're talking about cryptocurrency in terms of the long run. So now how are we going to make money in the short term? Bitcoin, just so you guys understand, Bitcoin, you buy this asset to hold over time. Okay. The reason that we look at Bitcoin though is because everything in the market is essentially tethered to Bitcoin. If Bitcoin's going up, everything else in the market's going up. It's just about picking the winners. If Bitcoin's going down, same thing. Effectively, everything else in the market's going down. You're just going to pick the most stable, most least volatile assets to the downside. Okay, so that's why we look at Bitcoin. But in terms of long-term investing, again, in my opinion, not financial advice, you hold Bitcoin, you hold Ethereum, you hold these bigger assets. So we're still in this infamous range, the longest range of all time in Bitcoin history. Been raging about 7 months now. So we did, at the open of Q4 and the open of October, have a little bit of a scare. Okay, so we saw right in here. Let me get into it. We had the October open. So you see Sunday, the 29th of September. September 30th, we dump. October 1st, we dump. Okay. So what's interesting about this? This is essentially what had happened the last 3 months in a row. So August, September, October all opened the month with a dump. So if we go back to the beginning of, so 25th of August, right? So it's here towards the end of the month, bang, dump, dump. And then we come into September with another dump. Boom, ready? September 1st, first day of the month, we dump. Okay. So what's happening? Basically, in my opinion, the market makers are trying to shake people out and create these bear traps over the last 6-7 months so that people continue to position themselves short, bet on the market going to the downside before they rip it higher. So this is what market makers do. This is what people who are trying to accumulate large amounts of an asset do, is they manipulate the price and try to essentially scare people into buying and selling. Okay, so why do these big whales create these accumulation ranges? This is essentially what we're looking at for the past 7 months. They create accumulation ranges because this is how they're able to position themselves for the long term. So somebody who has $1 billion, they want to buy $1 billion, $500 million, or excuse me, $500 million of Bitcoin. They can't just go on Coinbase and click buy and buy $1 billion of Bitcoin. Because what's going to happen is first of all, they're going to shoot the price up. So their average price of entry is going to be much, 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 much higher than it has to be. And they're going to basically make the chart, they're going to put a meat stick on the chart they don't want to put there, right? So in order for these market makers not market makers, in order for these whales to be able to accumulate an asset over time, they have to do it by creating these ranges where they essentially pump up the price of an asset, get people to buy, create liquidity. They sell at the top and they shoot the price back down low. They buy down here, which is going to push the price back up. They sell at the top. They buy down here. They buy down here. They sell up here. They push the price back down. They buy again down here. They push the price back up so people start providing liquidity again. They're buying, they're buying, they're buying. They sell at the top again, push the price back down. They buy again at the bottoms. So what are they doing? They're basically accumulating their asset towards the bottom of this range so that their average price of entry is $60,000, $58,000, $61,000, $62,000 per Bitcoin. Okay. So the reason they do that is so that whenever eventually we break out of this range and we shoot to the upside, now they're realizing all those gains at a nice entry point, at an entry point they're happy with. Okay. So that's what we're speculating is happening right now. So then what happens whenever you build short in a range like this? Well, historically, when you build short in a range like this, so when I say build short, I mean building towards the downside. So slowly over time, we're bleeding down. As soon as we exit this range right here, right? As soon as we exit this range, then we should, in theory, right, break to the upside. All right, look at that fucking drawing. Fantastic. So, yeah, it won't go backwards up like that, but you get the point. So
have some butt cheeks in it.
Yeah. Put some breasts on there. So so the point is that we break to the upside. So that's what we're speculating to happen. So in the meantime, well, how do you make money? Well, we got to put ourselves and position ourselves into assets that are going to be appreciating not only while we're in this range, but then in the long term, what we think is going to outperform the rest of the market once Bitcoin does break to the upside. So you got anything you want to talk about with that real quick?
No, not too much. I mean, yeah, I think you pretty much covered it. Yeah, we've been ranging for forever, and yeah, I mean, I think we both see it the same way. A lot of other people do too. That there's only one way for us to break out of this range, and it's up, not down. So,
yep. So here's the nice thing too. So you see right now for the last couple of days, we're pushing back up. So we're going to go ahead and try to get this above 65 and a half thousand. Once Bitcoin's back above 65 and a half thousand, we should start to break out. Okay.
Yeah. And I guess the one thing to mention too, I guess, is if you look at the previous Bitcoin halving years, 2016, 2020, October's always been a trend, but historically, if you look at the last two Bitcoin halving years, October always started red. The first week was always red. They're pretty much putting in the low for Q4 in the first week of October. Not obviously a guarantee, but it has happened before, and hopefully is the case this year as well.
Exactly. And you see how Bitcoin's not even moving up by quite a bit. And you see on my tickers here, the percentage gains that we're seeing on some of these coins. So for those of you inside of the Taylor's Code, you guys know that we have a private group where we post basically alerts on what tokens to be getting into that we know are going to pump so that you can make a bunch of money off of that pump. So we have some private plays that we get from insiders that are trading the market. I'm going to give you guys one on here just so that you understand what kind of plays we're making. You understand why you want to be inside the Taylor's Code to actually see these things before it happens. So this is the daily. I'm going to put this on the hourly so you can see this a little bit better. Okay. So this token, it's called Sigma. All right. It's on Solana. So Sigma is it's a meme coin. It's that meme of the dude, what's his name? The guy who's Batman. What the hell is his name? The actor. Christian Bale.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, Bruce Wayne's a Batman, but the actor Christian Bale. So that meme, the Sigma meme, I should be able to pull it up actually. Well, I don't know if you know. Do you know what the Sigma meme is?
I don't. You're the meme god.
Yeah, I am the meme guru. This guy's blowing up my phone right now. Kick rocks, Harry. The Sigma meme is something that we basically had an alert on. Somebody had put this play out whenever it was much, much lower than where it's at right now. And we got in on Saturday, and it's already at 2x, 2.5x from where we bought in. So just by knowing what the play was, the call was before anybody else, already doubled almost 3x our money in about 2 days. So I'll show you guys where I bought in at. And right now, Sigma's in all-time highs. It's in price discovery. So down here, when we look on the hourly, okay, Sigma entry point was about 12 cents right down in here. Okay, so this is where I bought in, and just in a few days, 2 days actually, we're already in price discovery. Now, why did I have this line drawn here? Well, this is the line from the previous all-time high. So I knew buying down here, as it was just starting to get into an uptrend, that once we reached the previous all-time high line, we're going to start bull chopping into it. Boom, boom, bang. As soon as we shot through, now we flipped this resistance into support. So we retested this support right here, the previous all-time high. Bang, we shot up again. So now this thing's about to fucking rip cheeks. So it's already at 34 cents now. No, excuse me, 3.5 cents, 3.4 cents. And we bought in at around 1.2 cents. Okay. So already basically a 3x. It is a 3x. Okay. So what's the significance of this? Well, number one, this is why you got to understand whenever you know things before they're going to happen, you know what plays are about to come into effect. First of all, it's a great opportunity to make money. But second of all, these are the kinds of beta plays that you want to make in a market like this, where Bitcoin isn't giving you insane returns. Ethereum's not giving you insane returns. But these meme coins, these gems that you can find whenever they're essentially bottomed or floored out and in a good buying range, you can grab them, and even in a market that's not showing a bunch of upside from Bitcoin, you can still print 2, 3, 4, 5, 10x's on these coins that are running. So again, if you were inside, you would have gotten this call, bang, you buy right here, you're already up 3x in 2 days. Now you're just riding this thing until you see where it goes up into price discovery, and then you take profits towards the top, wherever you think it's about to top out, and then you leave a moon bag and you let that bitch ride to the end of the cycle. But these are the kinds of plays you want to be making, right? Another one that ran crazy that I'll give you guys now because it's been in price discovery for a while is Giga. Giga Chad is that other meme coin that blew up on Solana recently. I mean, just in August, it's down here less than a cent. Now it's up to 5 cents. So this thing's about $480 million market cap now. Just a couple months ago was under 100 million. So 10, 15, 20x plays if you bought anywhere up in here, right? Even if you bought in September, just a couple of days ago, a couple of weeks ago, you're already up 5x, right? So yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I mean, I know that you've talked about it before, saying, you know, real hustlers always make money. I think this is a good example of that. It's just, even if it's a bear market, a bull market, whatever the hell's going on, if you're talking to the right people, if you have the right community, if you're getting the right calls, there's always opportunities to make money. You know, everything, like you mentioned, Bitcoin, it is the tide that rises all ships.
Yep.
It really is the best indicator of what the market's doing in general, but there's always exclusions. There's always ways to make money. You just got to be talking to the right people who can put you in a position to do that.
Exactly. And that's correct. Hustlers always make money. So right now there's an ecosystem of money being made towards the bottom with these meme coins and these coins that are starting to pop off until they get to about 100, 200, 300, $400 million market cap, where they start to top out. You need to be involved in those types of plays if you want to be making a significant amount of money right now. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. This is why you need an organization of people who are actually in the trenches and understand what's happening and know what's about to play before it plays, so that you can capitalize on these opportunities. Because what happens now is the normal man, the man with no team, the man with no guidance, the man who doesn't have the people around him to actually help them make money, he's going to be buying up in here. He sees this pump, bang, he's buying here, then he loses money, then he's going to sell a little bit because he got scared, and then it pumps again, then he buys back in up here, and now he's only up, 10% now because he bought up here because he saw it pump late. Like that's what most people are doing. That's what these charts are signifying. When this shit starts pumping and accumulating over here, as soon as this first pump happens, boom, right here, this first action, this first impulse move up to the upside, this is whenever people start chasing. And then this is why you start to get these breakouts, because all this is now people who are late to the play are buying the pumps, and that's what causes it to continue to break out. Because now people are like, oh shit, I don't want to miss it. Oh shit, I don't want to miss it. Oh shit, I don't want to miss it. Boom, they're buying these breakouts. And then they become the exit liquidity for the people that bought during the accumulation range, right? The people who are buying down in here. So again, it's a competitive environment, but there's money to be made everywhere if you're actually just paying attention to the market, right? Now, if you don't have the time to sit here and pay attention and stare at charts all day, just like me, just like Logan, it's not like we're sitting here glued to the fucking screen watching charts all day. No, we're just educated. We understand where the market's going as a whole, and then we have people in our network who do stare at charts all day, who do this for a full-time living, that just give us the plays that they're making, and that's how we make money. So again, it's just about being involved with the right kinds of people and understanding what's happening in the markets.
Yeah, do you wanna take a look at Pepe?
Yeah, let's look at the big dog.
Because I don't know what you think. I mean, I think we're probably agreeing on this, but I mean, it seems like Pepe pretty clearly is going to be the ultimate ETH beta, large cap ETH beta at least for this bull run. I mean, it's been leading Ethereum the entire cycle so far. So
Yep.
seems like it's definitely going to be the premier large cap ETH beta for the rest of the cycle.
Yep.
What do you think looking at this?
Yeah, so it looks great. So it's respecting key levels. So it had this pump whenever we were pumping in September, right? Came up off this low right here, put in its low, hit that pump in September whenever Ethereum was starting to move up, retraced some of that pump. Here is where you guys want to start making your entries. Is whenever you see these retraces or these pullbacks on the assets, that's what you want to be deploying. What happens is people get excited whenever they do see it start to pump, and that's why you get these big impulse moves to the upside, and they start buying up here. Even if you bought up here, obviously that's not ideal. That's not good. But you're still going to make money in the long run because Pepe is going to end up here, right? So you're still going to make money, but your entries are important because it's going to determine whether or not you get a 2x, 3x, or 4x as opposed to getting a 10x, right? So it doesn't matter. So right now, I say this is a buying range for Pepe. So in my opinion, you want to be accumulating as much Pepe right now before the market actually starts to break out. Because as soon as Bitcoin starts to leave this range and Ethereum starts to break out, Pepe, being an Ethereum beta, is going to do more multiples than Ethereum. So as soon as Ethereum starts pumping, Pepe is going to start pumping. So right now would be the time to be deploying. You should be getting into these assets that you want to have accumulate and start looking to sell in Q1 next year. So Pepe is a good buy. Yeah, Pepe looks fantastic. Brett's the other one that looks fantastic right now too. On base chain, look how the chart's so similar, right? So basically did the same thing, right? We had this little accumulation range whenever it bottomed out in August. We get this little pump during September whenever Ethereum's breaking out. We retrace, okay, during that October pullback. Now, here comes October. Brett's starting to break out, but Brett is still much closer to its lower accumulation range, like down in here, right? So Brett is much closer to that accumulation range price where you should be accumulating Brett at this portion, at this point right here. If you're looking to get more Brett, this is a good buy too, because it's still close to that bottom. So it bottomed out at about 6.5 cents. Now it's at 9 cents. So you're not too far off the bottom. This would be where I'd be looking to accumulate on Brett. I would actually say Pepe and Brett are probably your two best bets on Ethereum right now. Wolf would be the other one. Wolf is going to be a good play because once this one breaks out, this one's going to go to a new all-time high, so that's going to go parabolic. And then Andy, of course, the classic. Andy retested this level right here, retraced some of that pump, but it didn't retrace the whole pump. So Andy is looking stronger. Andy had this accumulation range, pumped up, did not retrace the whole pump, and now it's moving back up again. So you want to be looking to buy Andy up in here, see what happens whenever it tests this line again. Once we flip this resistance level and turn this into support, Andy's going to do the Andy's going to do the same thing.
Yeah, I feel like we've been following pretty much the same rules since we first got into Brett. I don't know how long ago, 6 months ago, 8 months, 6, 7 months ago, I think. Whenever we originally got into Brett, I feel like we've been kind of following the same rules since then because it pumped up pretty hard pretty close to the time we bought it. I mean, it was almost immediately after it pumped up to a 1.6, 1.7, 1.8 billion dollar market cap. We've been saying bread under a billion is a
Great buy.
fantastic buy. And that's pretty much what the lines are showing us. That's what the charts are showing. Anything under 9 cents, 900 million, $1 billion market cap, great buy on Brett. Um, do
You
you
know,
think this is?
yeah, go ahead.
You think this is going to finally flip a billion here pretty soon and not look back?
Yeah, once it flips a billion again, it's popping to 10. It's gonna make a run for 10. So 10
Because it's
billion.
been retesting it since August.
Yep.
So
So when we first started buying Brett, just so you guys understand, we were buying Brett quite literally in here, right at these lows. So back in May, whenever it was about 300 to 400 million dollar market cap, right in here is when we were buying Brett. So this is what I'm saying. When you're looking at these things and you understand what the plays are before they go parabolic, this is where you see all the money. You don't want to be, again, you can, if it is what it is and you got to buy in here, right? Over here, fine. That's what you got to do. But you miss so much potential. You miss so much money right in this leg right here by buying up there. So we started first accumulating Brett at 300, $400 million market cap. Bang, makes a run up to a $1.8 billion market cap. So think about that. That was what? Almost 10x? No, not 10x. 5, 6x, 4x.
4.5, 5x.
So bang, 5x on your money. You put in $1,000, you got $5,000 now. Yeah, that's a nice play. Now, it bled all the way back down until this region where it basically started accumulating again, okay, throughout the summertime. But this is where you want to be buying in more, repositioning, buying in more, right here, buying in more. Look at that drawing, fucking atrocious. Buying in more here in this range. You want to be loading up on Brett because when it does make its next leg up higher, okay, Brett is not going to stop here, right? Brett is going to go much higher. Okay, it's going to go to new all-time highs, and based on the fibs that people are drawing on this range, it should be going up to about $10 billion market cap on its next leg up. So you're looking at a $10 billion market cap. Right now it's at about 900 million. So you're looking at about a 10x still on something like Brett. Okay, so those are the sorts of things you want to be taking a look at is, okay, when am I entering the market? You want to try to enter the market whenever it's ranging, or whenever it's accumulating at the bottom. Okay, not seeing it pump all the way up here and say, shit, let me buy up here, let me buy as much as I can, and then it goes down, you say, oh shit, it went down, let me sell everything, I lost my money. No, if it's a strong ETH beta, if it's a strong asset to hold long term, you don't sell, you don't realize any losses, you just continue to DCA down here, bang, and you wait for the next pump up higher, right? So yeah, Brett's a fantastic buy right now. So
yeah, I mean, I think it's important to remember that with the crypto in general, there's never going to be, I think some people wait for certainties.
right.
They want that certainty that it's, and I get asked that too when I've talked to my friends from, different people have asked me about crypto. What should I put in? What they're asking for a play that they want a guarantee from me,
Right.
that it's going to be going to the upside, that it's going to have, huge moves, whatever. They want this guarantee. And that's never going to happen, not for something. I think pretty firmly, I mean, in my opinion, over time, crypto almost guaranteed is going to continue to go up. Like Bitcoin over time, that I think that's damn near as close to a guarantee as you can get.
Yeah.
As far as anything else where you're going to be able to make 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20x in the matter of a couple months, the only reason you're able to make that kind of money is because it is a risk. At the end of the day, it is a risk. But if you guys believe in the research that we do, if you guys believe in the coins, you believe in the projects, you believe in the bull market through the rest of the year into Q1 and beginning of Q2, then get in. You can't wait for a guarantee, because what's going to happen is you're going to be doing exactly what he was just explaining. You're going to see a bunch of green. You're going to see it move into the upside. You're going to hop in too late. Then you're going to sell off the first little dip, the first day of red, because you're going to think it's all over.
Right.
So you can't continue to wait. You just gotta fucking make a move.
Yeah.
Just jump in, see what happens.
You gotta have some fucking balls. You gotta have some stones to actually hold throughout this market. Bitcoin in and of itself, these major assets in crypto, over time, it's just an effect of printing money, right? As there's more money that's printed, there's more money supply. Assets are always going to appreciate over time as long as there's a demand for that asset. So as long as you're in an asset that has demand, yeah, over time it's always going to move up and to the right. So the places that you make the real big money is just being able to position yourself, right? Where if you position yourself well, 2022, and you were buying down in here or down in here, listen, everything up in here, this is all profit. You're good. You don't care about this range. You're booming. Your portfolio is looking nice. Here's what's even nicer. Look at that drawing. Terrible. Up to the upside, right? Bitcoin's still going to pump even higher. So over time, assets are always going to appreciate as long as there's a demand for them. It's just understanding when are the best times to buy them. Because look at this.
Yeah. And I mean, I think something important to remember too is like we keep talking about we're waiting for Bitcoin to go into price discovery to really start driving a lot of these coins to move the way we want to really start driving this into a bull market. Bitcoin obviously needs to go into price discovery. But what's important to remember is once Bitcoin is in price discovery, the vast majority, 90+% of people holding Bitcoin are then in a position where they're in profit on their holding. Once you have 92, 93% of people holding Bitcoin in profit, it creates a ton of selling pressure. And that run for all-time high Bitcoin prices, it's not going to last forever. It's like, yeah, it might go up to 100,000, 150,000 this cycle. I mean, I have no idea. But once it is in price discovery, there's a ton of pressure to sell. A ton of people start to get cold feet. They don't know how long it's going to last. They think, oh, it's got to be coming to an end here pretty soon. You don't want to wait until that price discovery is already happening. Yeah, that's going to be a guaranteed indicator that now it's fucking alt season. Now we're really in the swing of things, but you don't want to wait till that time because it's not going to last very long.
Exactly. And so the last thing I'm going to mention again, because we talked about this last time, remember, we're in a range, building short. My Lord, I got to get a different mouse or something.
You got to get a pencil with a
I need
pad.
to get a fucking
digital pencil.
We build short. Whenever you build a range short, it's to go long. Okay? Build short to go long. All right, look at this range right here. Build short to go long. See that? All right, when you guys build a range short, you go long. Now look at this, right? When you top, you're building long to go short. So now we're ranging up to go down. Ranging short to go up. See that? So this range that we're in right now, that doesn't look like a local top or a Pico top. Top, top. Okay? Does that look anything like this? Not at all. They don't look anything alike. A top happens quickly. Peak mania, euphoria, bang, drop, right head, a plummet, create a shoulder, roll over. Same thing. Pump, shoulder, roll over, bang. Bear market down here. If this was a top, we would be already down here in a bear market. Okay. This is ranging short to go up. Okay. So that's the thesis. That's why we believe, in our opinion, Bitcoin is going to break out here on Q4 and go into price discovery, and we're going to be at new all-time highs, and we're going to be printing a shit ton of money. So again, if you think these tops look the same as this, you're out of your fucking mind. So
you're blind.
Yeah, you're fucking.
Study believing in something.
Right. Yeah. Study belief. Study being bullish with the boys. Study the gentlemen are bullish. So Yeah, I mean, that's essentially it. So now you just got to know what to buy so that whenever this happens, you make the most amount of money. That's the game. Congratulations, you're rich now. Um, any last closing points? Anything you want to touch upon?
Um, no, I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, I think it was a good week. It was the first full week of October's in the books. Um, yeah, I mean, obviously, I didn't do a ton of research on historically what the first week of October has been like in Bitcoin halving years. So, I think we both were, can't lie, a little bit shook up after first couple days of October. We're all just bleeding out. Thought maybe it was a fucking a famoose.
Yeah, we were famous, but now we're gonna famous the geese.
Yeah, so we're inverse famoosing. We're
We did
we're reverse famoosing to the upside.
we did famous
Um,
aikido.
yeah, we aikidoed the famoose, and yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what it does over the next week, and we'll see where we're at next Monday.
Prediction for next Monday. I bet you we're above 68,000.
Where's that number coming from?
Just just belief. Study
Belief.
believing in something.
What'll make me happy is if Brett flips a bill and cooks up to.
Runs to 10.
Yeah, if we can get up by next Monday, if we can get Brett to flip a bill and then, yeah, start pumping, like be at 1.3, 1.4 billion next Monday. And we also need Andy to flip the resistance into support.
Yeah.
And what's the one last thing, what's the market cap on Andy right now?
Right now should be about 120, 130 million.
Okay. Yeah, if we can flip 0.0002, turn that into support and be at like 240, 250 on Andy next week, we'll be in a beautiful
We'll
position.
be fucking cooking. Once Andy starts running, the gentlemen are gonna be. There will be signs, guys. When Andy goes to 10 billion, there will be signs. Okay, you're probably gonna see a couple of new supercars. You're gonna probably see a couple of houses being built. There will be signs. Andy is at 143 million market cap. So yeah, once Andy flips 200, we start running again.
I say once we go tour Europe after the bull run's over, we got to go to Portugal or Spain and run with the bulls.
Yes, run with our spirit animal, the bulls. The
Get on to
gentlemen are
them.
bullish, and there's gonna be a video of me and Logan grabbing bulls by the horns and wrestling them down, breaking their necks.
Bull run Aikido.
Or actually, we'll probably just ride the bulls. We want the bulls to be alive. We'll kill the
Yeah,
bears.
we want them on our side.
Yeah, we like bulls. Never mind. We'll be
Get the
riding
bull-
them.
Get the
Bull
bulls to
rider.
kill the bears.
All right, gentlemen. Hey, if you guys are watching, is it on Base Uniswap? How do I acquire Andy? Andy's on Ethereum, so you go to Uniswap, and you're gonna type in the contract address for Andy. So you can get contract addresses from CoinGecko. Am I able to do that? Hold on, real quick. I'll put it in the Taylor's code for those of you. It is in the Taylor's code, so go look in the Taylor's code. But yeah, get the contract address off of CoinGecko. Go to Uniswap. It's an Ethereum asset, and then buy Andy with Ethereum. Good, Ollie.
Yeah.
Everybody else, like the stream, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Come get the juice. Let's make some money. What's that?
Bye, Andy.
Yeah, buy Andy in the boys club, and you'll do just fine. Not financial advice, but you'll get rich. Not financial advice. All right.
Do it.
So